we'll have this discussion.
Discussion? What discussion?
This is a discussion.
Combustion.
Coming to you from Denver, Colorado. This is Discussion Combustion Podcast with your hosts, Kevin Batstone and Arthur Raw.
Welcome back, y'all. It's episode 101. Took a little break here after 100. What a milestone it was, man. Great to be back in the studio. Got another tremendous episode lined up tonight.
From across the pond.
Yeah, talking to our friends from across the pond.
Awfully Irish.
The lads from the Awfully Irish podcast are going to be joining us momentarily. These guys are staying up super late. You know, we're mountain time here in the States. Those guys are about 7-8 hours ahead of us. So they're going to be joining us a little bit after dark. But before we get into this great conversation we're about to have with the lads, today's episode wouldn't be possible without Mountain Made CBD. You'll see it there at the bottom of the screen. MountainMade.life is where you're going to go to stock up on all of your crystal clear CBD needs.
Now, if you're an athlete, if you're somebody that's trying to alleviate pain, if you're somebody who's just curious to see how CBD can affect your life in positive ways, then definitely visit MountainMade.life. They are designed to give you more CBD for your money with crystal clear ingredients that are good for you. They don't cut corners. And once you find your product lineup, everything that you like on there, you can auto ship, auto pay, auto discount. So there's definitely a lot of money to be saved when bundling it with Mountain Made.
You know, and it's an expensive product. You know, we all know that. It's a competitive market. A lot of people are putting out CBD. You know, you might be skeptical about, man, I've been hearing about it over here. I've heard about this company, that, and the other. Check them out. You know, really look at their bottom line, because their mission statement truly is to continue to innovate and make sure that their customers get the clearest, the purest, the most affordable CBD on the market, and they continue to do so with great products, great innovation, the build, the boost, the recover, the puff, the combat, the defense.
Dogs.
CBD, yeah, for your dogs. I mean, it's great product. We love what Mountain Made offers. And that's that hashtag go like hell mentality.
You know, go like hell, baby. Let's let her rip and tater chip it. And you know we're also brought to you by Wild Outdoor Adventures. And that's WOAMEET.com, And that's where you're going to go to be able to sign up at no charge. You can see all the activities that they have going on. You can meet people with similar interests, Hope for Teens, Hope for Vets. If you're an entrepreneur, you can start a blog on the page. It's a very easy-to-use website, and all of us want to get outdoors, right? Because we're all so sick of sitting in front of our screens, whether it's our phone, our computer at home, if you're working from home, or just watching Netflix or whatever, you know, Amazon, whatever. So it's so important to get out there and build those memories and build those friendships outdoors, experiencing this beautiful state of Colorado.
Yeah, it's time to put down the screens a little bit. You know, we have been quarantined. We've been stuck indoors, not a lot to do, doing the Zooms, doing all that stuff. It's been great to get through all that. But it's time to put all that away because it's really negatively affecting, you know, our future outcome. You know, it's really dampering our potential. You know, we want to optimize that. And being outdoors, smelling the fresh air, seeing those frosty mountain tops is the way you're going to do that. Looking at a screen's not going to do that. It just isn't. It might solve temporary boredom, but I'll tell you what's really going to solve that boredom is hiking a 13er, a 14er, getting out there.
Accomplish something.
Yeah, accomplish
Challenge
it.
yourself.
That's what we need. That's what we need, especially coming out of all this. You know, take the masks off, get a breath of fresh air. Colorado is a beautiful state. It's a big state, and they're offering a lot of great trips, and a lot of great people you can meet along the way. And that's less dreaming and more exploring.
Absolutely. We're about to introduce these guys. They've been grinding super hard. Their podcast hasn't been around as long as DCPC, but they have more episodes. We got Awfully Irish in here, the Crushers from across the pond.
Welcome in, boys.
Lads, sound for having us on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for taking some time out of your evening to sit down and chat with us across the pond. And congratulations on finishing college. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And it was only for the year.
And the 1-year anniversary on the podcast, man.
Yes, that was.
You guys are doing it.
That was tough. You know, talking to Gerard every day for a year, it gets to you. It makes you go mad in several ways.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. I can relate to that. I got to sit next to this guy for the last 2 years. We've had a lot of great experiences. But you're right. You spend a lot of time with someone. You're like, all right, man. You know,
you better like them.
You better.
You better like them.
Be able to shoot some shit, talk some shit, and take some shit all at the same time.
Especially because it becomes like a work environment. So, like, you know, I'd be able to accept criticism off him, and same goes if one of us is lacking.
And that's good. It's good to have
I'm-
that that trust and that partnership and that handoff. You can trust the guy sitting next to you. You can feed each other's energy. And you guys have been crushing it, man. I mean, 1 year in, you've had 150 guests.
that's
How many
nuts.
episodes have you guys cranked out in the last year?
That's nuts.
212, 213,
211. Plus
211?
live streams, we've done an unrealistic amount of live streams.
Too many.
We used to do a podcast a day plus a live stream, and sometimes we do something extra as well.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. I mean, as a creator, because technically we're all creators here, and a lot goes into it. Like, you don't think about that when you're watching content. You don't necessarily think about all the little things that you have to do in order to make that beast bigger. Because there's just always something. There's always something you could do. And, to have that dedication. So, I mean, you guys were talking about college. Did you go to school at all for like broadcasting or like any engineering or what led you to doing podcasts?
Go on, you tell it better.
Yeah. So, me and Gerard are just finishing secondary school, which is, I think it's the equivalent of high school over there in the US. But instead of, I know you guys have like middle school and high school, we just have 6 years in the same school. Well, there's an optional year as well. It's called TY, where you do a load of shit that doesn't really matter. But
But we did it anyway.
we did it because it was a bit of fun. But
That's how we met.
Yeah, but the thing is, so we were supposed to do I think it's the equivalent of your guys. Is it SATs? Is your final exam in high school? We were supposed to do our
SAT. Yeah.
SATs. So we were supposed to do our leaving cert, and then COVID happened. So we were like, we couldn't go into the school and they basically called it off and said that the teachers were going to be giving us our grades. So like they'd like prescribe on what they think we would have gotten, kind of thing. And so we were there from May till August or September thinking, what do we do now for 4 or 5 months? And so it was myself, Gerard, and our other friend Dara, and all three of us were like, let's just start a podcast. Sounds like a bit of fun, So that's what we did. And here we are today after a couple hundred episodes.
I mean, that's a huge grind.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, don't
Was
you
it
start.
daily episodes? Like for
Well,
around
yeah,
about
it was
3
daily,
months?
and then became 2 a day, and then it was just mental. It was crazy. Like, I don't know anyone who's
That's
done that
nuts.
before.
No, I mean, we were doing once every 2 weeks to start off with, and we're like, that's too much time in between, and then so we dedicated to once a week, and we feel like we might be able to do 2 episodes a week, at our next phase, but to do what you guys are doing daily, I mean, that's a super grind.
It's a huge commitment for sure. Cause I mean, you guys are obviously having to be present for the recording, which this is the best part, right? Drinking beers, having a chat.
Oh, it's great.
It's the best part. It's our favorite part. It's then it's the pressure of the edit, the upload. That's where you start adding those layers in your time and managing your time. And it really is. It's time consuming. So I take my hat off to you guys. You guys are crushing the game.
Appreciate it.
Now,
Well, I seriously appreciate that.
Jesus.
well, coming from a fellow podcaster to another duo out in the world, let's get it together. But so I was wondering, like, over here at DCPC, like Kevin and I, we've done a lot of brainstorming, and it kind of started to form what we are, what we do. So we come up with a mission statement and kind of what we're about. Have you guys done anything similar to that? Like, do you have a mission statement for Awfully Irish, or what would it be if you don't got one? What is the goal?
If you're not sleeping, you're working.
If you're not sleeping, you're working.
You eat, sleep, work, repeat
Yes.
constantly. And I think it's the same for Jared, that if we're not working we're slacking off, we always feel this. I feel this guilt that I could be doing more for the podcast, kind of.
FOMO, like fear of missing out.
Absolutely.
I feel that constantly. If I'm not seeing like, views going up, or I'm not like doing something with regards to the podcast, it's awful. It's consuming. So like my entire day today was setting up like different SEO stuff, because we had a guy on from TubeBuddy. Yeah, that browser extension for YouTube. So it's went really deep into SEO, and just trying to make the videos stand out more. And then we did some advertising on some other platforms. But as a mission statement, I don't know. I think, Thomas, you kind of have it there. Like, if you're not sleeping, you're working.
Hell yeah. That almost sounds like y'all are American working too much.
You know what?
Well,
though? That's what it takes. That's exactly what it
definitely
takes.
earn the money with this. Definitely earn it.
You got that right, man, because time is money and there's a lot of time that goes into it. And I can tell you guys are just as passionate as we are. And it just shows. It shows. Maybe, maybe we're not hitting the views that some of these other mainstream guys are hitting, but it doesn't matter because you can feel the authenticity behind it, the work, the dedication. That's what pays off, man. You get out what you put in,
Absolutely.
So I think we're on the same page.
You nailed it in one.
Hell yeah. So, I'm really kind of curious. I was trying to find, because I put some would you rathers together for every episode. I try to do them custom. I'm not going to break into those just yet, but there's a lot of things in Irish culture that's different than that I don't know about. What would you say are some stereotypes of Irish that are incorrect and maybe some that are true?
We're not always drinking.
No, it's this thing that people think.
It's just this weird stereotype. Oh.
This huge like, oh, you're all drunks. And sometimes it gets to me, and other times I'm like,
it makes me drink. Yeah, no, the drinking thing is definitely one, but I think in fairness to us, it's well deserved. We do have a problem with alcoholism, so it makes sense. Yeah, what else? I don't know. We're so Americanized now.
What is your obsession with leprechauns? The only reason I know of leprechauns is because I watch American media. Like you guys have a football team out there called the Leprechaun something, and we were talking to him, some guy about. But do you remember that, Jared? We were talking to their symbol was a leprechaun or some shit. But they had.
Oh yeah, we had making games on. And
isn't that like a hockey team, or is it football? Is it football?
It's like a college thing. Had like. The angry leprechauns thing.
Yes, that was it. But
that was it.
We don't have Lucky Charms over here, so
yeah,
I don't get
no pots of gold.
Well,
I keep that behind. It's actually realistically, it's a cage, but mine's empty. So it's got a Burger King hat on it in light of that recent meme. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
So for the American side, I mean, because I'm kind of disappointed in America in a lot of different ways, but like there's a lot of stereotypes out there for Americans. Which ones, because you guys talk a lot with people from the States, in your experience, which stereotypes do you think stand the most true?
You're terrified of curse words.
Yeah.
We were on a podcast with a lady, and it was about the same time as now, but we've better prepared for late podcast. It was about 2 a.m. and it was an hour long, and we had to cut out 15 minutes of it because of the cursing. Because she was like very against it, but it just let slip. Because in Irish culture, it means nothing. It means nothing. Like cursing is just so ingrained. I don't know. That's one thing that's really been confusing. Because sometimes I let lose a curse. Like especially when we had Bruce Buffer on, I cursed a couple of times, and when I did it, I seen his face look at me like an angry granddad. Like
he's like, excuse me, what the fuck did you just say? No,
exactly. But like he wouldn't even curse. I think he was trying to like let us know afterwards, because he said like what the F, and then he says you know what F means. Like that was an intimidating moment with Bruce Buffer. Cursing in front of him, and he doesn't like cursing. But
I can imagine, man.
Yeah,
there's a lot of those moments in podcasting for sure. Because I saw you guys doing that with Bruce, and that was pretty cool. You had him introduce himself, which was really cool.
No.
Yeah.
First time we did it in years, I bet.
That's an epic moment right there. And you guys are really good at capturing that. I feel like, you make your guests feel comfortable. They can open up and be themselves. And you guys do a good job, man, at networking and bringing in some great people. I think that's the first thing I noticed
great lineup.
When we discovered you. It was like, man, these guys are crushing it. Ireland's #1 podcast, right? You guys are doing it for a reason.
We're not actually Ireland's #1 podcast.
Oh, no.
But
we are.
But
in
you
spirit.
We think you are.
We believe you are.
Yeah, we believe and achieve that for y'all. That's how we look at it. I don't know of any other podcast coming out of I wanted to call it the Big Green. I know that's not a nickname for it, but
I think I know a lot up the town who has a condition called the Big Green, but that's different.
So now where are you guys located in Ireland? Because geography, we know that my co-host struggles with geography a little bit, but I struggle with some of the over the seas geography. I understand Ireland, but where are you in relative to Dublin or somewhere in that area?
We're around an hour outside of Dublin. We're very, very centralized. We're in a place called Offaly, which is where we got the name from. To be honest.
Okay,
that's terrific.
It's spelled differently. We were going to call it the Offaly Irish Podcast, but then we were like, what was it, Jared? Like one of us was like, "No, that's stupid. We can't name it after our county." So I was like, "Why don't we just call it the Awfully Irish?" And it just kind of stuck, you know.
Yeah. I was
That
going to be
took
something
it-
like the Awfully Express, and that ended up being a newspaper. So
Yeah, that took
Okay.
us 4 hours. Would believe it or not, that conversation.
Oh, wow.
It took hours. I think we recorded the first episode without a name, and later found it because we decided we'd do a podcast, and then the same day we made a podcast. I put up a tweet saying like I want to start a podcast. Who's in? And Thomas was a guy who answers like I'm in, because I do archery. I want to do an archery based one, but then I get to explore that on this anyway. But yeah, it's fucking mental.
So do either of you have like a music background or any other background, in the entertainment sector other than podcasting? Like, does this scratch an itch that you were trying to scratch for a while?
I mean, I think we were both involved in some kind of like musical dramas back in the day. You know, Jared did the school play, and I used to do it for like a little school company in our town. Just kind of get on the stage. Not in Hamlet now. I've done Shrek, and if you've ever seen, have you ever done Hairspray? That like the music.
Yeah.
I played John Travolta's character in that.
Did you played as Shrek then?
Yes.
Oh, dude,
Yeah. You see the
I
resemblance?
knew you were sexy. I knew you were sexy. God damn it. I didn't realize you were that sexy. Fuck.
But yeah, with myself, I've
Oh fuck, you broke me.
I've done my little bit of acting.
You've done some acting?
I've done a little bit of acting. I've been in archery for a long time. That's kind of where I got my first kind of idea of entertainment. What else? Sorry, I shouldn't be drinking.
Oh no, that's where the fun begins.
That's where the fun
So
begins.
this is where the fun begins.
So did you ever?
I should have drank it so fast.
So
yeah,
do you have like a memorable shot in archery? Like, are you talking about like being an archer?
Oh, this
Yeah.
this guy's a world champion.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
He's legendary.
what was have you killed? Like, what was your favorite kill?
Well, I'm a bow hunter that's never killed an animal.
Okay.
If that makes sense. It's illegal in Ireland, but the treaty archery, which is called just bow hunting over here, is it's what I would be at. And I've competed in the States, competed in South Dakota, competed in Greece, all across Europe. Blah, blah, blah. But I guess the most iconic shot for me was there was this practice shot in a vineyard in Greece, and I was trying to size up this guy who was like missing.
Okay.
And yeah, he was missing on purpose or something, and then like he eventually caught up on me. And in fairness to him, he won the whole competition. I came dead last, and afterwards, because of like everything that went on, he sponsored me.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Like, yeah, he was such a sound guy. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. So you spent a little bit of time here in the States then doing a little bit of archery work. You said what, the Dakotas?
Yeah, South Dakota. What was it called again? It was the Eastern Archery Center over there. They hosted the World Bow Hunting Championship. So that was good crack. It was before COVID, thank God. And I got to meet some amazing people there.
So
and compete.
growing up, I was fortunate enough to have a bow and some arrows, and it was passed down from my grandpa. So I got to shoot my grandpa's bows and arrows, which was a lot of fun. And I got somewhat accurate, probably not to the same level you're at, obviously, but I always shot with a wooden bow. Do you prefer wooden over what is it like? What else do they make them out of? Like carbon fiber or like?
Yeah,
or like,
metal as well.
Yeah,
Do you
metal.
want to show the bow, Jared?
Yeah,
He
It's within arm's reach.
Oh, do you have it? Let's
you got
see
one
it,
in
man.
here. Yeah,
Yeah, let's get it on air.
Yeah, he loves showing this thing off. It's
he's
like-
gonna show us what type he likes to shoot right now.
Oh yeah, it's this thing's crazy. I don't know anything about archery, but I'm impressed by this bow. Like,
Green Machine.
Oh yeah.
Got sponsored by a company in Italy called Spigarelli for this bow, and then the handle was that guy from the story. And it's been unreal. It's a style called bare bow, so you can see there's no attachments on it. It's pretty just a bow. It's made of metal. So yeah, that's the kind of style I shoot. It's called bare bow. There's nothing on it. You know, you've probably seen like people hunting before with the likes of compound bows with a bunch of wheels and strings.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
that's
ones
kinda
with the ones with the
popular.
wheels are easier to pull back. Then is that correct? Or
Yeah, there's a thing called a let off. So when you get to a certain point, it lets off. You might be pulling 20% of it. So if it's an 80-pound bow, you're maybe at 20%, maybe a low 16. With my one, you like if it's 35 pounds, you're holding 35 pounds.
okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I haven't done much archery, man. I'd like to get into it because I'm a big gun toter. Most of our listeners know that I carry a Smith & Wesson 9mm. What's that look like over in Ireland? What's your guys' firearms look like?
Oh, we don't have
They
any.
don't.
They don't. So
We,
okay.
we don't have guns in Ireland. They're
Well, we
unless
do.
you have a hunting license, which is like
And then you can carry a
look,
hunting rifle,
no.
or how does that work?
You can have a gun if you're part of a gun club, a property owner, or there's something else. It's stupid. The gun laws in Ireland are ridiculous. The hunting laws in Ireland are even more ridiculous. A great reason for hunting is it's cost effective. Over here, it's not even close. You have to be part of a gun club. You might go out hunting. The season where you can do it is like a couple of days, and it's just awful. There's a lot to be done there in terms of hunting in Ireland, but like Europe's known for that as a whole, like especially the UK and Ireland. We're terrible for hunting.
Yeah. So Kevin was telling me this when we went shooting recently, and he's like, "This isn't an American thing. Like people don't have shooting ranges in other countries, like where you can go and discharge firearms." So have either of you guys ever like shot any type of guns at all, or?
I have a
Yeah.
BB gun. That legit. There's a nest that forms above my house sometimes, and they're like, "Thomas, will you go shoot that thing down?" I'm like, "Okay." Yeah, shit's all over
Yeah.
the ground, man. I gotta take that thing out, you know. But
Okay.
that is it. I know. I've only been to the US once, and I didn't get to touch a gun over there, so it's like,
Yeah.
oh well.
Got to take part in a shotgun competition, like like you shooting clay pigeons, whatever.
Okay.
Which is very rare here. And then my dad and we went off one day to just shoot some clay pigeons again. So only a shotgun.
Shotguns are fun, man.
They are.
I mean, they're a lot of
That
fun.
was-
You could bruise the shoulder if you're not, tucking it in tight enough.
I mean, that's any firearm. So yeah, I mean, when you guys come to the States and come in our studio here in Denver, Colorado, USA, we're gonna take you guys shooting. We're gonna have some fun.
Oh
I
yeah.
look forward to it.
Cannot
We
wait.
can make a weekend of it. Whenever you have that planned, just give us a couple months notice, and we'll make sure to like create the experience.
Yeah,
You
good
know,
time, man.
that's the beauty of podcasting, though, is bringing people together and like having conversations like this. So I'm gonna do one of these would you rather's right now. I got a couple. I'm gonna ask a couple actually because they're both are based on the same thing. So, would you rather drink beer out of a bottle, a can, or a draft?
That's it. I was expecting like a fear
Damn,
factor style question.
I was expecting like some fucked up shit, but
Yeah.
Oh no,
bottle.
we're kind of PC here. We try to we cuss, but it's kind of PC.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A bottle. I know I'm drinking out of a can now, but bottles. Yeah, absolutely.
Bottles.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going bottles above cans and draft as well. I don't trust that they're going to clean out everything properly for the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that device is going to be clean. There's something about the glass and the bottle.
I'm old school, man. I like aluminum. I'm a bit, in the States here, I'd be considered a redneck, I guess. So I like my aluminum can, Budweiser, hillbilly beer, country toting, cowboy boot wearing redneck.
Oh yeah, me and the Irish boys. Yeah, let's go Irish boys. We got this. So just one more booze related one.
Yes.
Beer, liquor, or wine. If you could only drink one for the rest of your life, I already know what Kevin's gonna choose. But yeah, beer, liquor, or wine. If you could only have one.
What psycho picks wine? Beer every time. I'm a big cider guy, but I'll say beer.
I'm gonna go with liquor here. Not really
Yeah?
a beer guy. Yeah.
What kind of liquor?
What's your liquor of choice, Thomas? Where you going? You drink that Jameson, or what are you thinking?
Big fan of Jameson. Not gonna lie.
Like proper 12, right?
Proper 12. Yeah, proper 12 is lovely. I've only had it like
Proper
a can-
proper 12.
even though you think we'd have it all the time, I've only had it a couple times. Whenever I do, it's lovely. I gotta
It's
give
called-
that guy.
Is that a whiskey then? The proper
Yeah.
12?
It's Conor McGregor's whiskey. Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I should
yeah.
try that. I should try that because, as of late, I've been trying to get more fancy on my spare time, and so I've been,
He's failing.
spending $50 on a bottle of whiskey here and there, putting it on a couple ice cubes in it. So I'm gonna try that, man. I'm gonna try that.
A little Conor McGregor whiskey. I haven't tried it yet. I try to stay away from whiskey as much as I can, boys, because when I drink whiskey, I just don't make good decisions. That's the problem I have with it. If I stick to beer,
You're a smart guy.
I appreciate you saying that
He's
because I question
he's
myself.
not.
I'm not that smart. I'll tell you that.
Neither am I,
But
though.
when I drink whiskey, anything could happen. We just don't know.
So-
we're not-
That's the mystery.
No, you
we're
go,
not that
Thomas.
much- Yeah, we're not that much of a drinker. I know I say that now, but like we don't usually drink on podcasts and stuff. But when there's a party or something, I'll just have like whatever's going. To be honest,
Yeah.
except wine. Wine, really?
Come
Yeah,
on,
that's-
neither of you guys like wine?
Nah,
The
man,
Well,
vino?
not- maybe
I had a
20
very good one
years.
once. That was it.
See, I'll put back a lot of red wine. But I live
Gives
with
me
my
heartburn.
girlfriend, and I feel like the ladies like wine a lot more than men do. So I'm going beer because I couldn't drink liquor all the time. So Thomas, that's very brave of you, but I got to have some beer. I'm going malty.
Definitely beer. I mean, it's just you know what you're getting with beer. You can kind of gauge your buzz a little bit better. I feel like if I've had 6 beers, I'm going to feel this way. But if I've had 3 or 4 shots plus 6 beers, we don't know how this thing's going to go.
So the one type of booze like that I can't have that treats me the worst is tequila. Like tequila is going to give me a rough time. What's the one that counteracts with your guys' vibe?
Well, tequila's not a thing here. In fairness to the pair of us, myself and Thomas are fairly new to drinking. I drank when I was way too young to drink. I gave it up. I gave it up for a long time because of alcoholism is like pretty serious over here, and I just said I need to top on a little bit, so I didn't drink for a long time.
That's good.
But you know yourself.
And like,
Probably not the answer you expect.
I don't think I've ever actually been drunk. Now, there's been times I've been proper tipsy, but never gotten sick or never gotten.
Well, there was that time.
Never drinking that again. Nah, Jared, there wasn't any time.
There was that one
Man,
time.
Nah, man, never at that time. What are you talking about, man?
Okay.
What are you talking about, man?
Remember the
Thomas,
Tyson Fury
You don't
fight?
need
Because
to,
I don't
you
think
don't
you
need to
did.
hide the truth with us, man. We're chill over here, man.
I don't know what truth Jared's talking about, man, but go on, Jared, enlighten me.
I'll say is absent Tyson Fury fight and a tipsy aftermath. Yeah, I don't remember that, but yeah. Yeah, a buddy of mine got me some absinthe when he came back from Spain, and I brought down to Thomas's to watch boxing because I just got into it, and yeah, it was great. It was great fun, lads. I'll tell you that. That's all I'll tell you.
yeah.
Good fun.
That's what it's about, man. Just having a good time, enjoying a little bit. Are you guys? No, I'm so assuming you guys are big Conor McGregor fans.
No.
Hometown
Not
guy, right?
No.
Next question. Next.
Yeah, so does he like put a bad portrayal? Like is he like making y'all look bad? Like what is it?
It's the that there is a much better Irish athlete out there who doesn't get much recognition, and it's Katie Taylor. That I would love to have. I know when people think Ireland now in the US or something, that they're gonna think, oh, Conor McGregor, UFC. I don't want that. I know the guy has done a lot for UFC, and I'm a big fan of UFC, so and I'll give him props for introducing me to it, but he does some really stupid shit that is just kind of
Shenanigans.
yeah. I mean,
He's infamous here, in fairness to him.
He is.
He-
Yes.
He's like, you love him when he's fighting, but when he's out there, you kind of want to give up on him. Because, the things he's done, like, he went and he punched some guy in a bar because he didn't want to have his whiskey. No, I think that it was kind of portrayed wrong because the guy was like in his mid-50s, not like the 80-year-old they're trying to portray.
Do you know
But,
what they've done, Jared? McGregor has bought that bar and banned that guy. You aware of that?
I didn't know that. I didn't
You-
know
You're
that.
aware of that? So he punched some old guy in a bar, and then he bought the bar and said, "You're never allowed in here again."
I think I heard about that on Reddit.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the guy is
A great source of information.
yeah, he's an entertainer, but probably not my favorite fighter.
But when he became double champ, he was the biggest deal in Ireland. He was. Everyone knew who Conor McGregor was. Everyone loved him to bits. Like double champ is not a small thing. Everyone in Ireland knew about him. This is like what 2015, 16 kind of time.
Yeah.
And basically after that, he went on a decline. Like literally double champ and then garbage. Like I didn't know till afterwards that he fought Cowboy Cerrone recently. Like not a lot of people kind of turned up for that one after the whole Khabib thing, which was horrible to see.
Sure.
Because he's out there kind of representing us, and then he does this horrible shit, and you're like, you want to disconnect from that. When Thomas says like the likes of Katie Taylor, an amazing athlete, what she know, she's 18-0,
Yeah.
in boxing.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person you want to see represent us, not the likes of himself.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get somebody that, has the right morals and the right reasons for doing something, then it's going to create a whole different energy. He has a lot of momentum behind him, obviously, champion and all these other things, but just imagine if he would have been treating people right the entire time, like how much better his career could be.
Yeah,
That's it. Like, yeah.
You're right.
That's unfortunate.
So I like to challenge everybody out there. Like we challenge influencers. We like to challenge people. Like, what can you do to be better, this week? What can you do better about yourself? Like, how can you progress? And that's something that we always like to cover on here, and taking losses and talking about some real shit, man, because podcasting has helped me hold myself accountable. Just so you guys have a little background, I know a lot of listeners know, but I struggled with a pretty heavy opiate addiction for a long time, and finally came over the hill, and so we like to talk about some of that stuff on here. Like, what are some of the things that you two have encountered in your life that has been a challenge, but maybe you failed in a certain circumstance, but then rose to greater heights?
A hard question, man. But not number one. Before we go on to that, like, fair play to you. Yeah, that's some serious stuff. I've watched a lot of your stuff, but I wasn't aware of that. That's like seriously fair play to you, because that's no easy job.
My life is I'm in a better place than I've ever been, and I could get really emotional about it real quick, but
I'm so glad to hear it.
It's such a great, it's such a great change. I have different priorities, and that's big. That's big for me personally, and I hope that my story helps people. And that's why I share it on the podcast. And that's why I think it's an important question to ask, because, what have you guys experienced that somebody's feeling out there? Somebody's been going through this.
Absolute power to you.
Yeah.
In fairness, I've had it kind of handy. Like the only problems I've ever had, I've put myself into. Like, I don't know if it's that bad. Like, I used, like, work here is a very, very difficult thing to get a job here, especially where we live. It's one of the most unemployed areas of Ireland.
Oh wow!
So
yeah.
I used to work I used to work for way under the minimum, like fucking back-breaking work. I did it just so I had a bit of work in, just to, I guess feel valuable, like be able to provide whatever. And yeah, that was one thing that was really rough for me. So I kind of say, know your value, or working way too hard for guys who don't really care about you. You're just an asset to them. Yeah, I have some pretty serious, I guess, injuries after working way too hard for people who didn't really give a damn, give a fuck. So that would be a big one on me. So know your worth. Don't be working for some gobshite who,
yeah, for sure,
shows minimum wage in your face.
I mean, that can be a difficult time too, because you're out there trying to earn, you're trying to do the right thing, you're trying to treat people well. And I know I've been taken advantage of too, like coming into an industry fresh, and I'm trustworthy. I want to trust people, but they're out to get you, and they just want to exploit you. And sometimes it's hard to see that when you're trying to do good, it's, so I can totally feel that, man.
Yeah.
How about you, Thomas?
I don't know, man. I really didn't like school, like secondary school, man. Like, there was days I'd go to sleep and I wish I didn't wake up. Fucking hate I have zero good memories of school, and all the ones I do have, they just get like crushed by the stress. Fun fact, right? I had back in secondary school, I had frequent dreams about plane crashes, which are like related to like high anxiety and shit like that. And I've never been tested or anything like that, but I just fucking hate it. And then I actually thank COVID, because I don't think I would have done as well in my exams that my teachers gave me the results for. And I don't know, man. I mean, I'm just so fucking glad it's over. It's the fucking people, and I hate talking about it so much.
No, I mean, that's
so much.
That's what's important, man, is talking about difficult things. I mean, I didn't really do too well in high school. I don't feel like my teachers looked out for my interests, and I ended up getting a GED. I didn't even get a high school diploma. I got a GED.
Yeah, what's a GED for us Irish lads?
So it's basically a test that shows that you have the knowledge to, have a high school a high school diploma, but you didn't graduate high school. So basically, when I was 17 opposed to 18 graduating, I was 17 and I just was enough with school. So I went to a community college and took the GED test and passed. And then that way I could apply for jobs and say like, yeah, I have a GED. I have this level of education. But I agree, Thomas. Like, I didn't feel the love, and it was difficult. And
it's a difficult time for a lot of people, I feel like. I mean, I struggled in I guess it would be secondary school for you guys, high school for us. Freshman year, so, ninth grade, sophomore year, 10th grade, I was just in a dark place. You're figuring out who you are. You're 14, 15 years old. You got girls, enticing you. There's a lot going on. And I didn't do well overcoming that. I made it through. I graduated, got through secondary school, high school. But I didn't go to college. I didn't do that. I took the working man's route, took that minimum wage paying stuff, backbreaking stuff like you talked about.
I'm sure you're familiar with it, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Sometimes you got to do what it takes. I mean, it's a pain in the ass, of course, right? But we got to do what we got to do. So
that's it, yeah.
It's those experiences that kind of land us to what, you find out what you want by learning what you don't want. The older I get, I'm kind of learning that. It's a cliche statement, but that's kind of what I feel like, lads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, life is a tricky thing. It's like this delicate balance of doing everything the right amount, because you could do anything too much, and if you do so it's just all about enjoying the time, and enjoying each moment that we can, and enjoying the small pieces, and that's something I try to remind myself of daily, because there's always things that come up and things that I get frustrated about. But as long as I could, really truly appreciate what I have, and that's big for me, is constantly being thankful of what I have, not thinking about what I don't have. I feel like so many people are out there. I mean, we've talked a little bit about FOMO before we started the recording. Like, you guys are always grinding because you got that FOMO of missing out on that opportunity or whatever. And it's like, you got to enjoy every moment. Like sitting here chatting with you folks, having a best friend sitting here with me to record with, like, these are the good days.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's important to keep that in mind too, of like, what's good, and focusing on those good things. Cause I feel like, especially here in the States, I mean, I don't know how it is over there in Ireland, and you could probably enlighten us, but there's just so much negativity all the time over here. Social media draw, people are always bitch moaning and complaining. There's just, everybody's pissed off all the time, it feels like, and I don't like to associate with it,
No, you're absolutely right.
When I said we're Americanized, that's what I mean.
Like,
we get all of your negative stuff. I know guys who won't even speak to each other after the presidential election last year, or 2020, like Irish guys, who have no interest in the States, who won't talk to each other because of their opinions on Trump versus Biden. Isn't that crazy?
It's unbelievable, and it's completely unnecessary, in my opinion. I mean, it's just, come on, what are we doing here? And we've touched on that on the cast. Going through that, it's ridiculous to me that we can't all get along, kind of thing. And there's so many other things that also drive a spear through dividing people. And we talk about it a lot on our podcast about how bad social media is, especially here in the States. It just, everybody's on a team. What side are you on? Red team, blue team, this versus that. Everybody's competitive all the time. And you're right. It's like, I'm not talking to you because you don't agree with, I agree with. And we try to, bridge the gap a little bit here. It's like, because everybody here in America is just so angry all the time. If you don't agree with me, you're not my friend. And I don't think that's moving the ball forward, guys. I just don't.
Yeah, I've seen that in watching you guys. That you guys are very level-headed and pretty
Thank you.
spot on, which is something I admire, because we've had the conversation with the likes of people who are way too far on one side. I'm sure they're pleasant people, but they didn't seem too pleasant, especially when they talk about their thing. But you got to keep a level head. Got to keep. Yeah,
I mean, that's part of our mission statement is I was talking about that earlier. Our mission statement here at Discussion Combustion is to include anybody and everybody from all walks of life. So regardless of your status, wherever you're at, you're welcome to sit down and have a conversation with us, and to be critical, accepting, and loving. So we want to question things. We don't always just want, any opinion to fly, because we don't always agree with that, but we want to approach it in a way that, we're being accepting of that and loving about that, but we could also be critical about it. And that's kind of how we do it. And you guys seem to be doing the same thing. You have people from all walks of life on your podcast, conversations of all different types. It's basically just a podcast about everything.
Yeah.
Look, we're trying to have good conversations with good people.
Absolutely.
Sometimes with the bad people slip in too, but that's part of it. You gotta talk to someone to understand their worth and their value and what they bring to the table. We've some mutual experiences with some mutual guests, the likes of David Weiss, or the likes of John Rink, or
Rinky.
Yep, John Rinky.
Rinky. Yeah.
I got a second name. I thought I got it wrong, but yeah, dude, wasn't he crazy? Wasn't he awesome?
He was
Great
super.
guy.
He was super mellow, chill, and just humble. And that's what the world needs, is people that have a position to have an impact, but they're humble about it. Like, don't let it get to your head just because you got a voice.
And I think Rinky did a good job with that. I mean, both, because we watched his episode with you guys and then him on our show. Just, you can tell that, the Netflix and all that kind of stuff didn't impact who he was as a person. He still maintained John Rinky. And I admire people like that. And I think that's great about what you guys do. And what we try to do here is just having those real conversations, like you mentioned, with any and everybody, whether you're Joe Rogan or Joe the Plumber. We've always said that's the mission statement here. Let's hang out and talk. Let's have a beer.
Hell yeah.
That's
And
the
you
way
guys,
to have it, lads.
y'all,
I
I
like
mean,
that.
you guys have talked to folks in the United States all the time. You are our first international podcast.
Pretty exciting, man.
So we're popping our international cherry with y'all.
It's pretty exciting.
And
That's
we're really happy to do that, because we've been looking up to what you're doing and how you're doing it. So we know that you're holding Ireland down, but if you guys could live anywhere else in the world, any other country, you couldn't live in Ireland, which country are you going to live in?
That I know this is like a hypothetical now, but I just want to really quickly say that like the average cost of living in Dublin right now is 400,000. Like that's the average cost of buying a home in Dublin. I could buy a mansion in Texas.
That's
So
expensive.
I'm thinking Dallas is looking pretty good right now.
Dude, we're on the same page. Texas is like, it's just so full of opportunity. It's just amazing right now. And there's no way I am living this life and not getting there.
So why is it so expensive in Ireland right now?
Because our government is a piece of shit.
They have no
to
clue what
do
they're
with,
at.
like,
lads.
does it have to do with the European Union and any of that stuff, or?
Nope.
I'm not a
just our
politician.
Politicians.
What I can tell you,
are-
they're gobshites.
they're idiots. They created this housing crisis for us about 13 years ago, and they're still going at it. Like they just cannot understand that people in their mid 20s and 30s cannot afford a house that's worth 400,000 euro.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
We're building a house in Ireland. It can nearly cost $500,000. Okay,
It's crazy.
this is for the average person. This isn't like Millionaire McGee. Like there's people who are full time work. Like I'm related to people. I know people who are working full time. Both partners are working, no kids, mid-30s, who can't afford to buy a house in Dublin because the price is so high over there. And even if you buy it in Dublin, it'll be in a terrible area because it's rampant with crime at the moment. But it's mainly petty crime, but a lot of it. Our police force don't have guns. They don't have much they can do. So bad management.
Petty crimes. I had somebody jack my license plate off the back of my SUV recently. That's a petty crime. It cost me $8 to replace it. Not a big deal. But what's up with these people, man?
I mean, it's just that criminal mischief. That's what it is. People are always going to be lurking. That's just going to be happening for sure. But I mean, to piggyback up what you guys are saying about the price in Dublin. So here in Denver, Colorado, US, man, my girlfriend just sold her house for $500,000, right? $500K that thing went for. And we're talking about a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, kind of a basic style house, 1,500 square feet, finished basement. So Denver, where we're at, is extremely expensive. Texas, I'm with you guys. That's the goal.
More bang for your buck down there.
I'd like to be down in Tejas.
We'll see you there, lads. We'll see you there. We'll get both an Irish bar. We'll get sorted.
Yeah, let's do it.
Dude, I'm all about it, man. I mean, that's one of the beauties of this podcasting community is as I feel like every guest that we've had on, every person that we've sat down and chatted with has, just increased the network and networking. So it's so awesome to be talking with y'all. I was doing a little research before hopping on the mic here, and you guys had a very nice May the 4th be with you #athon. And I saw a lot of things in there that I liked a lot. And do you guys watch a lot of Star Wars stuff? Is that happening?
Yes. Okay. Biggest Star Wars guy.
Okay, my man. This is something that I want to talk about.
Oh, here we go. Arthur's been really excited about this guy. Just he's been talking about off mic. He's like, I can't wait to talk to these guys about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, here's the segment.
We got people on from it. And it was amazing.
Excellent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had Bernard Bullen on, who played the Mandalorian's dad. And it looks like he's going to come back at some point. So it was a pleasure to speak to him.
That is badass, man. That
you play a parent in Star Wars, you're coming back.
Oh yeah, get that repeat guest. There's not too many people that give me goosebumps coming on, but I think if I had a Star Wars actor like Mark Hamill came on, I would be getting goosebumps.
Oh man, could you imagine? Like, that is your crown and glory right there, man. Having Mark on.
Both of us should just send him an invite after this, because I think he's a humble enough guy to maybe take us up on it. So both of us, both podcasts, we should just both invite him, and we'll talk about that later. But the would you rather, come on, come talk to 4 of us. We're all into it. So if you guys had to pick between one of the best animated series of Star Wars, are you going Rebels? Are you going Clone Wars? I know Bad Batch just came out. It's super dope, but it's between Rebels and Clone Wars. Which one are you going to pick?
Number one, I have more than 2 brain cells, so of course I'm going with Clone Wars.
Hell yeah!
How about you, Thomas?
I and you might give out to me now. I haven't watched the Star Wars TV shows just because I didn't have those channels when I was growing up. I was watching other stuff, but I went back and watched some Clone Wars. So I'll say Clone Wars, man. It's pretty cool from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Dope.
I love the Clone Wars animated series. I've watched that several times. I haven't completed Rebels yet. I'm starting to get through it. I really like how it's developing. But okay, so as far as the series go, like, you got the original trilogy, the prequels, and the sequels. How are you gonna rate those from 1 to 3? Like which one's y'all's favorite out of all of them?
Into controversy.
Oh damn.
Yeah. I'm going to go prequels. I'll throw that out there. I'm going prequels. I think that was well done. It set the stage for the original trilogy. And
Thank
I
God
feel
we're on
like,
the same page.
yeah, I thought it was great storytelling. So I'm team prequels as far as the trilogies.
I'm gonna have to go originals here. I mean, I really
Yeah.
like the prequels, especially the third one. I think the third one is like one of the best Star Wars films out there. But yeah, man, the originals, they're just so classic, and I just love them so much. Like, just a huge part of my childhood. I love them.
When they remastered that the Death Star blowing up, and the first time I watched that remastered version of that explosion, I remember freaking out as a child about that.
You ever watched that Vader versus Obi-Wan reimagined thing from
Mm-mm.
like episode 4? It is
No.
crazy, man. Oh, you
It
gotta look
takes
that
the
up on
fighting
YouTube.
style of the prequels, like like the really advanced one of like what's Revenge of the Sith at the end. They kind of take something like that and change it a little bit to add that they're older, and then redo it, but
It's
like
great.
in line with the story and blah, blah, blah.
And
It was
then
really cool.
when is the Obi-Wan series gonna drop?
They've announced it, haven't they?
Yeah, I think is it next year? Maybe 2022. I genuinely don't know actually.
And then, do you guys believe in the Darth Jar Jar theory?
Yes. Yes.
Do you know about that one?
Yeah, I'm aware of this. Yes.
Thomas knows about it, dude. There was a very convincing video of the Phantom Menace, and you saw that one, Thomas. I know you did.
Yes.
And like where like Jar Jar's doing the lip syncing in the background, like he's an animated character. Why are his lips doing the same thing? Like obviously this dude is using the Force. I don't know, man. Darth
way.
Jar Jar would be super sick.
There's no way that a person could mess up that much without having evil intentions. I'm all for the Jar Jar theory. I mean, and then he just gave it to Palpatine, like
Well,
the evilest
the
dude.
theory's over because they made the sequel. They finished it. They explained it. It's
So I heard that originally George Lucas had written episodes 7 through 9 to have Darth Maul as the main antagonist, and it was going to be Leia versus Darth Maul and this whole thing. I'm disappointed in the sequels. I didn't watch episode 9 in the theaters because I just had that bad feeling. I finally watched it, and I got to tell you, I'm happy I didn't watch it in theaters.
same page. As a big Star Wars guy, it was heartbreaking. The Last Jedi was just rough. I'm not saying that because like a lot of people say it's trendy or whatever, but fuck me. Like the reason like the animated series does so well is because of fan service, and when you do none of that, it shows. Like Leia floating through space and being fine afterwards. Like, come on, there are better ways to get rid of the character after, unfortunately, Carrie Fisher had passed away.
Yeah.
And to just kind of go, she did this hand thing, move forward, and then she's kind of in a coma, and then she dies later on. It's just.
Well, and also just the inconsistencies of the whole direction of everything, and the directors directing the movies. Like they went back and forth and tried to. I mean, that's one of my biggest modern disappointments is how the sequels turned out. Like that's unforgivable. I'm so sorry, Disney. You did great with Marvel, but unfortunately, you dropped the ball on Star Wars.
Actually, such a shame, man, because I'm a big fan of Rian Johnson, because he did some of the best episodes, and I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan, so he did some of the best, like Ozymandias, and I loved Knives Out. And then you see episode 8, and you think, the fuck was the guy on? Smoking some amount of drugs. Like,
Yeah.
Seriously.
Like, it's probably one of his worst movies, especially if you look back on his career.
Yeah.
He kind of made up for it with Knives Out, but besides that, like, dude, that's rough. How can you single-handedly make one of the worst Star Wars movies? It's Star Wars. You have that going for you in the first place. It was a bad movie, never mind a bad Star Wars movie.
So I'm gonna put Kevin on the spot here. Kevin, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Well, as you lads can tell, I'm pretty uneducated in this topic. Have I seen them? Yeah, I've seen them, but I don't feel like I have enough to bring to the table to really add any value to this debate, because listening to you guys, you guys know what's going on.
Just say Rogue One. Everyone will agree with you.
I like Rogue One.
Yes, I agree with you. I think
Yes,
one of the
it's a
best.
brilliant movie.
It is one of the best Star Wars movies. Absolutely.
It actually is. I kind of forget about that sometimes.
Especially the last 5 minutes. It just makes the entire
Yeah. Quick spoiler. So anyone who hasn't seen Rogue One, That's your spoiler alert, dude. The story is great. Have you not seen it? Come on,
No,
Tom.
I'm messing.
Come on, man.
I'm
Yeah,
messing,
but everybody dies. Vader kicks ass in the ending, and it's all for a greater cause, dude. I'm a modern man, and I cried during Rogue One. I'm not afraid to admit it.
And that's a beautiful thing. You know, that's what it's
And-
about, man.
Notice no one brings up the Han Solo movie.
Was that a
Moving
thing?
on. Yeah, no, it was
The best part of
terrible.
that was Darth Maul at the end, the hologram of Darth Maul. That was what made the whole movie is the devious
When the best
Darth.
part of your movie is the end,
Yeah.
you're not looking too good.
That's a good point.
Well, one thing that is looking real good, and I've been holding back on saying this. Do you say Gerard? Gerard? How do you say?
Tell me, Chair.
Jer?
Jared.
Yeah.
Jer.
Jer?
Yep.
The hair,
Jer,
the
Jer.
hair, the
Jer,
hair on Jer is a maze. I got to tell you, man, your hair is looking good. I've been checking that out for a while. How long did it take? What kind of upkeep do you keep it so silky with, man?
You're a big fucking fun of me. No, I don't know. I had Bernard Bullen on again, just back to Star Wars. Had him on, and I was like, "Fuck me, his hair looks good." Like, his hair was so good when he's on. I've never said it to him since. Like that. The reason I grew up my hair, I was like, "Oh my god, if this guy can pull it off, I can too." Because barbers are closed here as well, so I was kind of like stuck with long hair, so I kind of accept it. I had a call with a fan of the show, and he had long hair too. He's Portuguese, and I was like, "Dude, if anyone can do this, I need to try it." But yeah, I don't know. It kind of grew on me. I use what do I use? I use like a mixture of like, it's so dumb, like coconut oil and aloe vera. Like there's like a conditioner for it as well.
See, you're fancy. You're
No,
getting fancy with it.
It's
Coconut
cheap.
oil?
It's cheap here. Don't start.
Okay.
But besides that, Head and Shoulders works well.
That's a classic.
You know, look, I've been influenced by appearances. I'll tell you this. I don't know if you guys have heard of Yellowstone. It's a great show with Kevin Costner here in the States. I'm a big fan of it. And one of my favorite characters of the show, Rip Wheeler, Cole Hauser plays his role. I went and bought his damn sunglasses. All right. I bought the same sunglasses the guy wears because I thought, man, I need to look like that. And I didn't look as good as he does, but I still wear them.
Well, you're looking well. I like the hat
Thanks,
too.
man. Appreciate that. That's a nice thing. What else we got? We got a word of the week, guys.
We got a word of the week.
Yeah. So every
So we have a
week,
segment.
our listeners, they kick in a little bit of effort for the entertainment cause, and they send us a word of the week to try to stump us and our guests. So hopefully this is a word you guys haven't heard of yet.
They either try to stump us or they send us a fun word.
Yeah, or a fun word.
We've had some words that we have some fun with. I feel like this is a word that you lads probably may pick up on. I don't know. This is sent to us from Wisconsin. And the word of the week this week is hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle?
Yeah. Yep, hornswoggle. It's a verb. It seems like it's a North American word according to this description here, but hornswoggle is the word of the week.
Will you use it in a sentence for us so we could guess what hornswoggle means?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
so yeah. So in a sentence here, because it's a verb, so it would be an action situation. You mean to say you were hornswoggled?
Okay, I got to guess, but you gentlemen go first.
I presume it's like a horns. Is it kind of like another word for like bamboozled? You've been tricked. You've been, kind of.
That's what I was thinking.
Kind of
Yeah,
something
wronged
like that,
in some way. I was thinking
Yes.
something like that.
Swindled.
Yeah,
Yes.
you guys nailed it. That's exactly what it is.
Absolutely.
Not a word I've used in my vocabulary on a week to week.
Hornswoggled.
Hornswoggle. So if someone, hornswoggle you, you've been tricked, deceived, manipulated, not a word.
Wait, can I give you guys a word?
Yes.
Or like
No,
absolutely.
yes.
Two
Yeah, we
words.
want to hear some Irish ones. Yeah, let's do that.
What do we got, guys?
There's one I frequently use, and it's not very common for Americans because I keep getting caught on it. People are saying like, "What does that even mean?" If I said to you, "How are you getting on? Will you cop on?" Do you know what I mean?
Will you cop on?
Yeah,
Will you cop on?
yeah. Going for the keyboard, like cop on.
Are you going to comp? Okay, so that's the sentence. Are you
give
going
it a
to?
sentence like Jared, like how you'd use it, like.
And then I told him to cop on. That lad really needed to cop on.
So I'm gonna guess that it's like get with it. Like it's like come on, let's get moving, sort of thing. Get the idea, Kevin.
I mean, I would piggyback off that. That to me, right out of the gate, that's what it would sound like. Cap on, get your shit together. Let's go.
Is that right?
It's
Basically,
kinda
get your shit together, grow up.
Yeah.
Mix of those.
What's
Like
what's
if
another
a
good
lad's
one?
If a lad's acting a maggot, you tell him to cop on. Have a bit of cop on. Like grow up, basically.
Yeah.
Um,
Tighten up. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
You ever
Just
say-
kinda-
you ever say bollocks?
Oh, I love that.
Jesus
And the only
Christ,
reason
man.
I do say bollocks is because I love Top Gear and the Grand Tour. I love Jeremy Clarkson,
Yes.
James May, and Richard Hammond.
Yeah.
I love those guys.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I love listening to James May say bollocks.
Here's another one, and this one will stump you. If I said a lad was sound, what would you think?
Oh, he's good to go. Like he's well versed for whatever is he's sound to go. He's good to go. Is that right?
Pretty close. You'd say it's like he's a nice guy. Like I was saying,
Okay.
talking with Thomas, I'd say Thomas is the opposite of sound, but he has his sound moments.
I'm trying to think of some American lingo that you guys might know of. Kevin, what's something out of New England area that these guys?
Well, I think the New England lingo would be closer, more, to their lingo than out here in the Midwest. I don't know, putting me on the spot. What can we try to throw at these guys, Art?
I'm trying to think.
There's some Midwest lingo that you probably know that even I don't.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. Okay, what is swag? I mean, no, not swag.
That's a terrible.
What is
We've heard that so much before.
No, I was trying to think of drug use.
I think that's gonna be pretty universal, Art.
Mm.
For
You
drug
know?
use?
Yeah,
'Cause
so
swag over here kind of means, oh, that's cool. Like that's pretty sick.
Yeah, but it means that. But if you ever got caught saying it, you have your legs done in.
Oh yeah, you get your head taken off. You're like,
Seriously, you walk around where we're from. You say swag, you're gone.
you're done.
Really?
Out of it.
Damn.
Yes.
Goodbye.
because that's like the bottom of the barrel weed growing up.
Really?
That marijuana.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Is cannabis legal out there, guys?
No.
It's
CBD.
not. It's not.
CBD oil. CBD
Okay.
products are allowed, but like not actual kind of. Did you say you guys are you guys Patriots fans?
I'm a huge New England Patriots fan because I'm from New England.
Damn, you had a rough year, man. I'm sorry. I mean,
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. It was a rough
if,
year.
If you want, I'm a big Kansas guy, so I feel the hate towards a certain quarterback as well. Kind of, like I get it.
Okay.
It's rough, man. I don't,
Yeah, it is. We're kind of going through those growing pains, Tom Brady, it was like a bad breakup watching him go to Tampa Bay, but I'm also happy for him. He went and got his 7th Super Bowl ring. It's incredible. And he might get his 8th this year. Who knows?
I could definitely see it. I mean, the guy is like there's no comparable person to him in the sport. I mean, the guy has more Super Bowls than any individual team. It's just crazy to think about.
True talent, man. He's crazy, man. The dude is nuts.
Oh, yeah. We've talked about him a lot. I mean, I don't know how people can hate on Tom Brady. I mean, it's greatness. It's greatness. I mean, you're literally witnessing the best of the best, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Tom Brady's the man.
He's a game changer. So, man, I mean, we really appreciate you guys so much. I wanted to ask you before we go ahead and work on wrapping this thing up, because I know it's getting late over there, but we really like to ask all of our guests that come on to give a little insight and fill us in. Like if the two of you could give a piece of advice to help humanity become better tomorrow than they were today, what would be the one piece of advice that either of you give out?
Go on, Jay. No, all right. I don't know. I would just say, do stuff that makes you happy, man. Because, especially like if you're stuck doing something you hate, you will have so much regrets. Like, I can't imagine what it's like being the guy stuck at the desk job and he hates his life. It's just, I don't know how he gets on through his day. It must be horrible living in that mindset. Like, just do stuff that makes you happy. Christ, be kind to yourself. And also, it's like recycle. It's good, you know.
No one said recycle, but for real, that's going to better humanity in the future for sure. Jesus.
Don't even start. We just did an hour with Chris Duvall, great guy. Probably 5th time we've had him on. He's the only guy probably who's gotten on, or you're one of 2 guys to get on 5 times. We're talking about climate change, and like he's super into it. He's a permaculturist, if you're familiar with that, and environmentalist, and he's just basically like, okay, we're kind of screwed over at this point. We just kind of see how we can live with it. Let's focus on damage control. And one big takeaway from it was, realistically, you're not me like us guys, we're not going to stop Trash Island, but we can stop, problems in our own local area. If you want to recycle in your own area, like, aim for things to be better in your own area, because that's all you can really control. Yeah, that was a fucking heated topic earlier.
And I mean, for sure. I mean, recycling is something that takes extra time, but it's doable. Anybody can accomplish doing recycling. And I got to tell you, like I am usually very good at recycling, but I moved to a new place now where it's like a little bit different there, and I've been slacking, and I've been thinking about my carbon footprint while I'm throwing away glass and everything, like different things that could be recycled, and it's starting to weigh on me. And I got to figure out a way to continue to do that, because I feel like that is an important step, that if everybody got on the same page and everybody did it, then the impact would be huge, but that's only if everybody does it.
Yeah, I mean, individuals can do a lot, and absolutely you should be conscious about that, man. But it starts with the big businesses doing it. I mean, like you explained it better, Jared, but the whole turf thing, like people were allowed to like get as much turf as they wanted back in the day, and then corporations came in and they just like completely like destroyed our bogs and stuff, to the point
I'm not
that
sure if you're familiar with those.
In
Ireland for thousands of years we burned carbon-rich mud called called turf.
Okay.
So it's basically mud. You take it out, you dry it, and you can burn it. And people for thousands of years in Ireland have used that as their main, heat source. But after maybe less than 100 years actually of corporations being involved, it's been dwindled so low that people can't, like the average Joe Schmo like me and you, can't go in and cut it anymore. And the reason it was there for everyone to go at was because heating's expensive, and the average Joe Schmo in Ireland is pretty damn poor. So it was that, it was part of, I guess it was part of Irish culture that you could take advantage of, and you can, I don't know, get heat for your family, take care of your family, keep it warm in winter. But then when we got some corporations in there for 70 odd years, now it's illegal, full stop. And how many people does that affect, especially in times like these? Like, it'll be a cold winter.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, man. So I guess if there's any big wigs, CEOs, presidents, VPs, companies out there, let's challenge y'all. Anybody who's in that position to actually make the calls and make the right decisions. Screw what the board of representatives say for that company. Be a truist, like be somebody that's going to do something right for the people, because that's where we're lacking, is there's all these selfish decisions that are made, and they impact everybody. So I'd like to challenge all the VPs, let's believe and achieve that. Let's believe and achieve doing something that's bigger than us. Let's believe in something that can help others and that can help grow communities, and let's achieve having selfless acts in order to help achieve that goal of something that's bigger than us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, lads, a call coming in real quick. How you getting on, Elon? Is it Elon Musk? Yeah, Dogecoin. Yeah, renewable energy. Yeah, keep it that crack. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, that's him sorted, lads. That's him sorted. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Get him on the show, and then get him on here after that.
Ooh.
Hit us with a nice referral.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you this, man. This is I love what you guys do, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your late evening to sit down with us and chat. It's really cool to see what you guys are doing. Let's keep in touch. Let's have a beer here now and then. And when you guys come to the States, let's have some fun. Let's shoot some guns. We'll show you around, and vice versa.
Please.
we'd love to come onto your show too. So we'll keep that in
No,
mind as well.
Yes.
But by all
absolutely.
means, please come on. Please come on a show. We need people like you. No,
Yes.
seriously, hop on for a chat, lads. You're welcome anytime you're available. Next time you're available, we'll start that out after.
Yeah.
But-
Next couple of weeks, let's get it in.
I love what you guys do as well.
Revolving door. Let's get it.
Yes,
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I also love that we have, kind of mutual contacts, because that's something that's very, very rare, like, especially when it comes to what we're doing. Because, you have average Joe doing his true crime podcast, but like, who else could say, yeah, I had John Rinke on the show and wasn't he great fun? And, so I love what you guys do. Keep it up. And seriously, thank you so much for having us on.
Absolutely, guys. Yeah, this has been a pleasure. We were definitely excited about this one. Much respect. It'd be great to have a beer in person. It's fun to do it over Zoom. We have this availability. Podcast is a beautiful thing. You guys keep ripping, tater chipping.
I like that.
And absolutely, everybody that's listening to this, definitely check out Awfully Irish Podcast. They're doing it out of there across the pond, wherever you're tuning in. All the links will be below, so you can check out all of the stuff that they're doing. Great content. They got the CQC going on. And that's one thing that we tell people: if you want to be successful, you have to have consistent quality content. And you guys are checking all of those boxes. And we're just really excited to see how you grow and to grow with you. And man, our first international podcast, you two are great, man. What a pleasure.
Yes, this is
Absolutely
like this.
You're blowing us up with smoke at the moment, and we're close to bursting. You're unreal.
Hey, I blow a lot of smoke out here in the CO, if you know what I'm saying.
He partakes with that ganji. But yeah, all things aside, guys, it's been so much fun having a couple of cold beers with y'all, getting to know you a little bit on that personal level. Respecting what we each other do. It's cool to sit down and actually, discuss what's going on in the podcast industry, exchange ideas. Love what you guys are doing. We'll continue to support you. I'm sure you're going to do the same. And let's keep this thing going, man. Let's have some fun.
Goddamn right.
Well, y'all get some sleep. Have a great morning. We're going to have a great evening out here. And what a pleasure. Keep the episodes coming. Keep the energy strong. And fucking recycle.
Right.
Goddamn right.
I love it, man. I love it.
Good stuff, man. Could have been a better evening to spend it with two lads from the Ireland area. Y'all be good to yourselves. You deserve it.